So then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to have the best house anybody will have. I'm going to have the best office anyone will have. And by the age of 50, I will probably be one of the richest people. That is what I've just decided.
Talk about woman empowerment for hours and hours. Like somebody like Twinkle Khanna, she didn't say it. Like Amir talks about woman empowerment for hours and hours on television. He doesn't have time to see my film, and he's been a great friend so far.
People have been so unappreciative of my directorial debut. Everyone's like, why are you directing? You should be an actor. This is the peak of your career and we love you as an actor. Don't stop acting in movies.
And like you know, like how I turned director for this, I've not taken a single penny for directing for 8-9 months. I've been just at it. I've not done anything else. So you see, this is for me not just another assignment. And I'm very happy that people are saying this is the best film I've ever been in. So for me, like I'm very thrilled. What is direction? Direction is taking the final call.
Correct.
When that film was in my hand, I discarded it. I took that call along with the rest of the team, but I was heading that team. Correct. That is what is direction.
Yes.
I've worked with a lot of newcomer directors, for example, Vikas Pahal or Anand. Even when they started, they were very comfortably used to say, "But I don't know anything about angles or anything that DOP will do, but I know where my story is." So this shooting is not the point. The truth is that even though I shot the 70% film, and it's not something that cannot be seen, like my DOPs have spoken and the data is there. But having said that, if I would have even completed 90% of film and leave it in your hands, it is your film.
Yeah.
You don't want to use any of it. If I've abandoned it, I've left it with you, I've never called you again, I have nothing to do with this film. If I don't, either you have to be my first AD.
Correct.
I am guiding you every day, do this, do that, the 10% remaining has to be like this, and I'm taking every final decision from that. But if you are a director, if I've left it with you, it is your film. You are going to decide, because filming is only 20% of the job.
People have been so unappreciative of my directorial debut. Everyone's like, why are you directing? You should be an actor. This is the peak of your career and we love you as an actor. Don't stop acting in movies. I think they're unsung heroes. They're like technicians who they don't get sort of paid as much. I mean, barring few who produce their films and then of course they make profit the other way. I'm just talking about how sort of devalued they are in the industry always. Even the biggest director, his status matters on who he's signed on.
Yes.
And that's why they're cartoon chakkar of these, like big heroes, and this is somehow mine also, I think it got difficult because my films didn't work.
Okay.
It got very sort of difficult for people to then maybe trust me with the money or something. The mathematics is very simple. If your film works, you get money and do.
Who talk about woman empowerment for hours and hours. Like somebody like Twinkle Khanna, she didn't say it. Like Amir talks about woman empowerment for hours and hours on television. He doesn't have time to see my film, and he's been a great friend so far. See, like there are people who I do not, like I said, they're very straightforward, and probably they're not in sort of, I don't expect that from them. But then there are some who I had high hopes with, and who would sort of encourage this kind of film, which doesn't only talk about woman empowerment, but it talks about something very important, which is beyond that. But what really hurts is these people who have become, I think, the whole nepotism has really hurt the core of industry. But this sort of ganging up is look, this is not going to work as this thing, but what it shows is a really cruel face of them, which even I can't defend.
The industry also, yes.
But which, can I defend it? Because you guys, you're not even giving me a chance to defend you all. So this is impossible to defend you, and this guy, itihas tumhe maaf nahi karega.
It's not that industry was taking note. It's only after Queen that I feel when you are successful, then only people have a certain agendas. Otherwise, nobody bothers about you. That's what I say to my mother. Sometimes she says that, why do you say always so many conflicts in your life? I said, Mama, if I pack my bags and I go to Manali right now, no, everybody will be my best friend. They would love me for that.
I was just telling somebody that all the English stand-up acts are about English being stiff upper lipped or being like, you know, having this really shallow vanity, whereas Indian stand-up acts are about just being Indians.
Yeah.
You know, being like eating with your hands or in shit pot or our color or it's just about simply being, and that's not funny. So I think that there is a sense of disconnect, deep-rooted disconnect.
Manikarnika, I think the reaction that I've got, like, hey, why don't we talk about nationalism?
Correct.
You know, why at this age and stage we are saying that I don't want to stand up for national anthem, I don't want to, you know, like this is what people are, the conversation is that. And after this film, I just feel that there's a shift. 12 years we have seen now, that's enough period for everyone to see why I am here, where I am. But that's not the question. The answer is I am where I am now. Deal with it. You know, everybody says, how come you're here? How come you're here? How come you're here? It's just like, you shouldn't be here. Well, that's not the question. The answer is I am here. Deal with it. You've got to deal with it.
I'm very much happy that way because I feel that there are some things when I came to film industry were very aspirational and there were some which were not at all aspirational, especially the way they meet, they superficially hug each other, and then when they sit, they're trying to, you know, it's like a very ugly combination of trying to be Brit and failing at it, and then there are, you know, like there is a really not defined, you know, environment. You know, it's and I feel that back home, they're trying to, you know, project a different image, and you know, they're always so uptight and kind of, you know, I think the pressure of being high society and high class is too much here. But I feel coming from mountains, we don't live under that, you know, and like those were the things like I didn't like, but I like the professional part of it, because you only exist in groups here. So many agents. You say I don't have an agency. Not that I don't want one. You know, I definitely would want to have an agent who can represent me as a brand. But again, they're all you know, they're all with the, you know, the movie people who are there together hand in glove sort of situation. And I was asked to have a coffee with, you know, like to mend ways and to kind of have a friendship, and then only they can take up my work or something. And at times there are some who are not, you know, in that kind of a class. There's much smaller. Even they come up with problems like that I'm too opinionated, doesn't work for brands. See, if you are a celeb, then you have to speak because it's a responsibility, and that's why you are a celeb. If you're not a celeb, if you're you know, maybe somebody who's not having the advantage of having a platform, if you don't have a point of view, then who are you? You know, then we've got to decide who are you. You know, Carl Jung's, I was reading today one quote that the world will ask you who you are, and if you don't know, then they will tell you. So the same with celebrities. You've got to tell who you are, you know, otherwise it's confusing. Every battle is worth it, to be honest. It's very time consuming, and it may just also make a certain portion of your life a little unpleasant also. But every battle in my life has been worth it. Yeah, I fought for my dignity even when ex-co-actor, you know, tried to put case on me, tried to show me as a mentally unstable or characterless individual, you know, who's just you know, piling onto men or trying to do. I stood up for myself. Maybe there was no harm in terms of career or in terms of dignity and perception of an individual that was at stake. Or whether, you know, fighting with my father and trying out, you know, in a field which was so alien to us, or even, for example, you know, being an outsider, being mocked for my English, and then I'm going back to Karan Johar's show. I could have escaped that conversation, and that would have saved me so much drama that took place for 2-3 years in my life. And the way industry has been divided between, you know, me and the rest of it would have not happened, you know, because he's very powerful.
And then I do feel proud, but at the same time, I would say that when I started, I did not have any material ambitions. It's only a few years ago when, you know, one of my ex I had a fallout with, and, you know, that whole legal case happened. And I remember kind of that became a discussion that I'm from a small town. Is it I'm after his money or something, like that?
Yeah.
So I think girls are judged like that, and so from that day I started to think on those lines. I started to think like that. Being a woman, I don't think about money, but am I looked at like that from outside perspective that I'm a gold digger from small town? So today I can proudly say that ex of mine is living maybe in a rented house, and I have bought this, and on his father's money. In a relationship, that's how a person who doesn't have those many possessions or comes from a small town or you kind of a humble background, that person has no chance of love. That person has no chance of dignity. That person has no sort of say in this world of these, like kind of nepotistic material people. So then I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to have the best house anybody will have. I'm going to have the best office anyone will have. And by the age of 50, I will probably be one of the richest people. That is what I've just decided.
And it's very important that we've started to talk about it, and at the same time I feel feminism is something which is somewhere completely misinterpreted into women wanting to be like men or wanting to take their place, which is not true. I think for me feminism is want to enhance. I don't associate feminism with the gender also. The feminine aspects of the world are the gentler, kinder, more beautiful, aspects of world, to enhance that, even in men, even in world politics, and even in cinema, the things that are gentler, beautiful, compassionate, that's feminine, and should be associated with feminism. So women should not behave like men, and we should not shy away from being feminine. If we have to dress up to work, wear red lipstick, sometimes we break down or have cranky days, that's fine. I think it's okay to, women should not be shamed for that, and also we must acknowledge that the strength that women hold, that's very important.